Hi, you're listening to Childless and Moving Onward. This is the place where we talk about thriving in life when you're a woman who is childless, not by choice, regardless of the road that brought you to childlessness. Hi, and welcome to episode 42 of Childless and Moving Onward. And this is where I dive into the sensitive topic and often complex topic of being childless by circumstance, not by choice. I'm your host, Gail Miller. I'm a physician, a life coach, and a speaker. And today I'm going to explore a crucial part of this journey. And that is when our situation makes others uncomfortable. And then usually the expectation is that we're responsible for taking away their discomfort. Or when they say hurtful things to us that they say in order to ease their own discomfort, we're supposed to be okay with that. Well, I want to turn that around and make it clear that somebody else's discomfort over my childlessness is not my responsibility to bear. And it's not yours either. None of us are responsible for making other people less uncomfortable about us being childless. So, if you're ready to learn, maybe laugh, and maybe even probably roll your eyes at some well meaning but clueless comments, let's go. Let's start by acknowledging the external pressures that women face in general and that women who are childless face in particular here. There are the insensitive comments that are admittedly, they're often well meaning, but still insensitive. And then there are the expectations of society, and all of it can be overwhelming. Who hasn't been at some kind of gathering, like at work, with friends, family, when somebody inevitably asks, "When are you having kids?" Or why don't you just do IVF? As if there's anything about IVF that's just like it's so easy. Same with adoption. Why don't you just adopt? As if, again, that's just a simple, quick fix for people. Or how about don't you like kids? Or then there's well, you've probably sinned, and that's why God didn't give you a child. Won't go down that road. But I know many of you have heard things like that. Now, here's a situation that happened to me, among others, but this one stood out because I was finally at a place where I felt comfortable and not worrying about somebody else's discomfort. I ran into somebody I hadn't seen in a very long time, and he asked me what I was doing. I told him I'm a life coach. Oh, he was so excited. Went on to say how wonderful that is. And then assumed because of physician burnout that I must be focusing my coaching on burnout. I said, no, I'm not. When I explained that I help women who are childless not by choice, the excitement he felt over and that he was exuding over my being a life coach instantly changed. Like it was immediate. He was visibly enthusiastic about being a life coach until I said it's for women who are childless not by choice. And instantly that changed. Now, this is somebody who knew I don't have children, but he didn't know the reason. He never knew that this was not by my choice. But with my explanation of what I do now, he quickly put the pieces together and his reaction changed immediately. The excitement was gone. His smile disappeared. And in its place was visible, palpable discomfort. He averted his eyes. He looked away. He hemmed and hawed. He's looking down at his feet. Couldn't look at me. Kept shifting his weight from side to side. He had no idea what to say. And by the way, this is somebody who in his career, he's not a therapist, but in his career, part of what he does is counseling people. Counseling people in crises, in grief. He didn't know what to do with this. Couldn't look at me. His discomfort was so obvious. And this reaction is common. It's very common. When people ask if I have children and my answer is that I don't, sometimes people have simply assumed that I have kids and then they go straight to, well, how many children do you have? But what happens in this instant is one of the most common responses. It's a look of utter discomfort with no idea where to go or what to do with this information. The discomfort may be empathy for the grief. Sometimes it's pity, which I despise. But more commonly, a woman being childless not by choice brings on a discomfort in others because of their judgment of women. And women are judged by two things: marital status and fertility status. And that brings up another common reaction to a woman who's childless, and that is the reaction of disgust and criticism. And that comes from the assumptions about women who are childless, the belief that we're selfish, that we haven't tried hard enough, that we must not like children, that we made the wrong choices, and our priorities are flawed. In the past, when someone reacted like this, I would have been uncomfortable too. I would have felt shame. I would have felt lonely thinking I'm the only person in this world who's childless and there is something wrong with me. And the discomfort and pain in the past wouldn't have ended with that interaction. I would have continued to stew over it. I would have allowed his reaction to affect me for a long time. I would have viewed myself through his discomfort. My shame would have loomed so large over me for days. But that's not what I do anymore. And that's not what happened that day or since. Because I've learned that his discomfort is due to his own thoughts. His thoughts have nothing to do with me or my thoughts and feelings. I don't have to internalize his or anybody else's thoughts and judgments about my childlessness. I'm able to recognize that what someone else thinks about my not having children is about them. It's about their own assumptions, their own stereotypes, and their own prejudices. That has nothing to do with my worth. It has nothing to do with my self-view or my value. It's a reflection on them, not on me. So instead of feeling shame and hurt and doing everything I could to change the subject and make him more comfortable, I took a deep breath. I calmed myself so that I could react without getting angry, from a calm state, without being rude, or in a way that left me feeling shameful for my childlessness. I reminded myself mentally, his discomfort belongs to him, not me. I wasn't thinking to myself, oh, I'm the only childless person in the world, like I would have done in the past, because I know I'm not alone. And after I took that deep breath, I did nothing. I stood there, calm, and I let him manage his own discomfort. I stood there calmly, quietly, but confidently, knowing that his reaction, his discomfort is on him. And then his mood noticeably changed. His awkwardness dissolved. His discomfort lessened, and then he relaxed. Because he realized from my behavior that I don't view my childlessness as a failure. And I don't see my fertility status as equating with my worthiness. So, how can you get there? One step to take is to set boundaries. It's really crucial when you're dealing with pressure from others. It's about communicating your needs clearly, communicating you are an equal, and making clear to yourself that you're not responsible for others' discomfort. For example, if somebody asks, "When are you having kids?" simply say something like, "Our current family situation is where we'll be staying." Stop. Now change the subject. Or how about, "I appreciate your concern, but I'm not comfortable discussing that with you." Again, redirect the conversation to another topic. Or express your feelings in a way that makes it clear, "I'm not inviting any more questions." With something like, "Can we talk about something else, please?" Or, "I understand you're curious, but this is a sensitive topic for me. Let's catch up on something else." "I'd rather not discuss that. Sounds like a lot of fun, but I'm not ready to talk about that right now. Let's catch up another time." So set those boundaries with, "This isn't something I'm going to talk about." Another part of dealing with others' discomfort is how you are embracing your own identity as a childless woman. If you are seeing it as shameful, others will too. If you're able to get past the messages from society that the only important role in life is being a mother, and you can get past that and acknowledge you're not less than just because you're not a mom, others will take this on as well. Share your story to raise awareness around childlessness. It's difficult. I know it's a vulnerable situation to be in where you're sharing that story. But it also helps you to become a part of a supportive community. And that builds a sense of belonging and validation. But when you're able to talk about it, it's also shows there's no shame in this. That teaches others. When you get rid of that shame, others will learn that as well. And finding new paths to fulfillment is part of the healing process. Your worth does not have to be defined by your reproductive status. Your fulfillment doesn't have to rely on parenthood. So, the steps for managing situations when you're facing discomfort: state your boundaries and state them with confidence. Here's a tip about that part. Even if you're not feeling confident, speak as if you are. Keep the tone light and conversational. Connect with others who understand your journey. Join support groups. Join communities of women who are childless not by choice. And face your strengths. Why do I say face your strengths? Because we often get to this point and feel like we have none. You do. Acknowledge them, list them. Then celebrate your achievements and the positive impacts you've made. And you have. Every single person has. But you have to recognize that you have positives and that you have achieved things. Share your story to make people aware that being childless not by choice is painful. The pain is real. It's a loss, but it does not make us less than. When you share your story, it makes it clear this is not shameful. If all else fails, smile politely and say, "I'm good, thanks for asking." That's like the ultimate in deflecting against unwanted questions. Remember, someone else's discomfort is not your responsibility to manage for them. It's okay to set boundaries. It's okay to assert your needs and to focus on your own path to fulfillment. So take this moment to reflect on your life and find the positives, find your strengths, acknowledge them. Focus on the aspects of your life that bring you fulfillment. And if somebody asks you about having kids, you can confidently say, "My life is mine. It brings me joy and purpose." Understanding that your value isn't defined by whether or not you have children allows you to appreciate your innate worthiness. Recognizing that being childless isn't a failure does as well. By embracing this all, it enables you to feel more confidence in yourself. And when you embody that, you give others the message that they shouldn't be viewing you through the lens of your reproductive status. That you are more than your childlessness and you are worthy. That's it for today. I will be back with you next week. I appreciate you listening. If you liked this episode, help get the word out to others who are looking for this same help by giving it a 5-star rating, and please take 2 minutes to leave a meaningful review. It's easy to do. Just scroll down to the ratings and review section and tap on the stars to rate the show and tap on write a review. I greatly appreciate it, and you'll be helping others out too. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.